This is a Sakai, I guess it's how you pronounce that. Japanese train. A lot of people kind of consider these sort of a knockoff of Marx. You're familiar with Marx freight cars. I'm sure you definitely recognize those cars as we kind of are zooming around here. Locomotive, I think, is kind of a knockoff of a Lionel. But it's kind of an interesting little critter. It's not bad looking. This locomotive I got, it's been repainted. Most of the Sakai stuff is labeled Hudson and Pacific, which if that was a real railroad, it would be quite large railroad. Sometimes you'll see rather humorous spelling errors on some of these. I think the main one is where they'll replace the D with a T for a Hudson and Pacific Railroad. If you see something like that, they'll usually bring a little bit more money. Yeah, the tank car is listed for the Pegasus Oil Company, and you can't really see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can kind of see the knockoff mobile Pegasus there on the end, even though it's still in shell colors. It's not a bad little car. I got a pacemaker box car, and the door works and everything. This gondola, I actually think, in some ways is a little nicer than what Marx offered. Yeah, the trucks on these are real nice. You're probably seeing these actually have knuckle couplers on there. I've never, I ought to try hooking one of these up to a Lionel actually to see if they're the same size as the post-war knuckle couplers they offered. But what's crazy about these things is they actually function. Yeah, crazy. You flip these up, and in an ideal world, they will pop apart. Well, there you go. Now look at that movie magic for you. Typically, they never work that well. Here's the caboose. That's a nice model. It's a nice train. Yeah, for a while in the 50s, Sakai, again, if I'm pronouncing that right, offered a lot of interesting O-gauge stuff, switches and accessories, this train. They also offered a lot of template HO. Well, actually, a lot of Japanese manufacturers are offering that stuff in the 50s. I suppose at the time we were probably their trading partner for a lot of this stuff, and what were we buying a lot of during the early to mid 50s? Toy trains. So this set is pretty finicky. These locomotives number on it's a 301. Usually it'll be on the cab there, like a cab number. Like I said, mine's been repainted. They sound like gravel grinders. Honestly, I've never seen one or heard one that wasn't as loud and as obnoxious as possible. Mine's kind of finicky and likes to just randomly decide to just go into reverse or forward depending on what you're doing. It loses connection, and then the E unit in it trips, and it just does whatever it wants. But we'll try to get it running here. I never really took it apart just to see what was going on with it, but it's just a neat thing to have, especially when your main focus in trains is Marx. It's just kind of a cool little item, and yeah. As you could hear, they are quite loud, and the more power you give them, the louder they get. They're just noisy. Like I said, I don't run this one too often. It's just obnoxiously loud. I will say I will give it props for actually behaving today and not doing any of the nonsense it ever does. But yeah, that is a Japanese template O-gauge set. Like I said, it's basically a knockoff of Marx. The locomotive, I think they definitely were looking a little bit more at Lionel for inspiration. But thanks for watching.